Hi everybody, Golden Era Bookworm here, and today we continue with the Ken Waller Classic Bodybuilding series. Now, if you're a fan of this channel, you will want to watch this video because in this segment of the interview, Ken Waller describes his back routine. And sure, you might think that Ken did the standard barbell row and lat pull down workout that Arnold and Franco did, but that is far from the truth. Ken had his own particular style of training, quite different to Franco and Arnold, yet still developed phenomenal back musculature. Here is Ken Waller. Enjoy. Now, what about back then? What was your go-to movements for developing your back?
Well, the problem is I didn't use as much as I could have. I did the row, but I didn't do them with Arnold and Franco because they were really strong in that back machine we had.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Lowe had this one back machine in there, and that was their go-to exercise when they came in and worked it out. And I did the back. I did the lat pull downs. I used to like to put my feet up against something and pull down to my chest. I found out that when a lot of people, they like to do the lat pull downs with a bar behind their neck.
Yeah.
And I spent more time in the chiropractors off of that silly exercise because when you're trying to do that heavy and you're throwing your neck forward, it'll throw right in the middle of your back and throws the vertebrae out or something.
Right.
So.
Okay.
And then I used to like to do the seated long pull too.
Mm-hmm.
Just to stand up. I like the seated long pulls. I like the angle a little bit. I like the bent over rows. And to be honest with you, we used to like to do the one arm rows with the knee on a bench too.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's basically 4 exercises for that. And if you think about it, that's all just a basic exercise. It's nothing different.
No. But you didn't then use, you're talking about the T-bar row is what Franco and Arnold would go crazy on, is that right?
Yeah, that one, they would just rope that thing up to it. And they're always, as much as you can get on that bar.
Yeah.
And if you looked at both of their lower backs, you could tell too. It paid off.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen photos of Franco with about 7.5 plates on it, and Arnold, in pumping iron, he's just destroying his back on that machine. So,
Yep.
Yeah, but you didn't like the T-bar row then.
I liked it, but not that heavy.
Yeah, fair enough.
So that's what. Arnold liked to come over and do the squats with me, but I didn't like to go over and do the T-bar rows with him.
Yeah, okay. That's good. It's nice to know the differences. Now, as we have heard from Ken Waller, his favorite exercises were the lat pull down to the chest, the seated long pull, and the one arm bent over row on a bench. Interestingly, he did not perform the lat pull down like Arnold or Franco, who liked to pull down behind their necks and instead would pull down to the front of the chest. Ken mentioned that it cost him several chiropractor sessions as he would get injured when performing this version of the exercise with heavy weight. Having said that, my recommendation is if you're going to perform lat pull downs behind the neck, understand that they work the upper back muscles. We're talking teres major, minor, etc. And these are relatively smaller than the latissimus dorsi, and this exercise requires greater shoulder mobility. And going heavy would not be recommended as it places unnecessary stress on the joints of the shoulder and spine. Now, Ken mentions that it cost him several chiropractor sessions as he would get injured when performing this version of the exercise with heavy weight. Ken also did not like going heavy on the bent over barbell row or the T-bar row. We have seen both images and video footage of Franco and Arnold putting plate after plate on these exercises and destroying their backs in the process. but Ken Waller was more mindful of his back, using machines with heavier weight and going lighter on free barbell exercises. Having said that, heavy barbell back exercises can help develop the lower erector spinae as so prominently displayed on the backs of Arnold and Franco. When we reflect on each individual style of training, one needs to remember that Arnold and Franco both had a weightlifting background before bodybuilding. Arnold was a champion Olympic weightlifter and powerlifter, whilst Franco was also a champion powerlifter, and so both already had a strong posterior chain, a very strong foundation, especially in the lower back area. They had a lot of lower back strength, which likely allowed them to use much heavier poundage in these free barbell movements. On that note, it is important to note that training styles are entirely unique to each individual, and in order to train correctly, one needs to understand one's strengths and weaknesses, and only then is one capable of training optimally. I use such principles to categorize my clients and help them understand their own capabilities, and they have also developed amazing back musculature. If interested in my online coaching program, please get in touch. So that was Ken Waller's back routine, and if you enjoyed the video, then please give the video a like, subscribe, and drop me your comments. What do you think of Ken Waller's training program? Do you use basic movements in your routine? Let me know in the comments. That's it from me. This is the Golden Era Bookworm saying bye for now. Head to www.goldenerabookworm.com for the biggest range of classic old school bodybuilding books as ebooks, e-magazines such as Iron Man and Reg Park Journal, high quality bodybuilding posters of the Golden Era stars, merchandise and classic gymwear featuring Steve Reeves, Marvin Eder, John Grimmick, Reg Park, and many other Golden Era stars. For those wishing to build a classic physique, lose fat and build muscle, online training is also available. Collectibles such as rare autographed photos from the Golden Era stars are also available, and to collaborate, please get in touch. Now, if you're interested in learning more about Vince Gironda's approach to bodybuilding, his principles, and all these tips of wisdom that he has, I mean, there's so much stuff that probably hasn't been proven by science, and it will take science to prove or disprove Vince. But to be honest, these 3 books, I believe, which I call the Classic Physique Bundle, are the best books that Vince ever came out with. And they, of course, are the Wild Physique, the Master Series, and the Pro Series. Have a look at it this way. The Wild Physique, I believe, is like the ABCs of Vince Gironda's principles to bodybuilding. He teaches you the exercises and his principles, but how do you put them together? Well, the Master Series is a 14-month program of using all of these principles, all of the diets that Vince came out with, all of the exercises, and of course the Pro Series was a book that he came out with later on, specially targeted for getting into competition. It's just these 3 books, as I call it, the Classic Physique Bundle, are Vince's best work, and available, of course, at www.goldenerabookworm.com.